Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about today's video. We're going to be talking about ways to love your postpartum body. And I do want to make a note that the things I'm going to talk about in this video can be applicable to you whether or not you've had a baby, but especially if you've had a baby. Having a baby is such a wonderful thing. I'm sure if you've gone through it, you would agree with me. It is the most magical, crazy thing in the whole world that we are able to, with just our bodies, create a whole new human being and bring them into this world. It's crazy. I'm grateful I was able to do that, and I hope to do it again. But I'm sure if you've had a baby, you can agree with me that it is also super hard. There are so many hard things that come with bringing a new person into the world. And one of those things is how much it changes you physically. You get stretch marks everywhere, everywhere. I got stretch marks like crazy. I looked like I was attacked by a tiger or something. You get saggy skin around your stomach after you have your baby. Probably lots of other places too. Your boobs are just like a wreck. Nursing was so hard, and I just felt like they were huge, and it was hard. Your hair starts falling out just to add to, you gain a bunch of weight. You get weight loss in random places. It's like you're pregnant and you're all filled in, and then you get deflated weirdly. You have no sleep, so your eyes have just these huge bags under them, and you don't have time to get ready. Your emotions are all out of whack because your hormones are all out of whack. It's just a lot of stuff. And I remember when I had Jack, I went into labor on my 22nd birthday, so I was pretty young. I gained so much weight, you guys. I gained 50 pounds with Jack. That's so bad. And I also remember seeing all these girls on Instagram who were my age, my friends from high school and different girls I knew. They were out at parties and they were wearing swimsuits and looking so good, and they were just having the time of their lives, and I was sitting there with my, mesh underwear from the hospital, and I was just I just felt like this blob. And I remember looking in the mirror at myself and being like, this is me. I just wasn't expecting to be as surprised, I guess, by the way I looked, but I really was. And I was like, oh, how am I ever gonna be back to normal? I remember one instance in particular. I was folding laundry. I was rearranging my closet somehow, and I had this drawer of underwear, and I was going through it and putting it somewhere else, and I found some lingerie that I hadn't seen in a while, my whole pregnancy, and I just looked at it and I just started bawling because I saw it and I was like, there's no way. I'm never fitting into that ever again. I don't feel sexy enough to ever wear anything like that again. I'm just ugh. And it sounds like such a dumb thing. Looking back, it's so funny. I was crying over underwear or whatever. But at the time it was so hard to be this is my reality now. This is a big change, and it just kind of hit me then. But over the months, I quickly realized that I actually liked my body better after having Jack than I did before. Totally honest. I'm not even exaggerating. I love it so much more now. I feel so much better. I feel so much happier. I feel sexier. I feel more confident. I can run faster. I can lift heavier weights. It's crazy. We have this stigma of you have a baby and then your body is crap, and then that's it. And I just, that's not true, and that doesn't need to be true. I have 6 things right here. These things were the things that helped me realize how much I loved my body after I had my son, and I hope that they'll help you too, whether you've had a baby or whether you're just going through changes and you just feel like crap in your body. Hopefully these will help you. So the first one is to be patient and to recognize that our bodies change. That's what they do. That's what they're designed to do. When you're a little baby, you're this big, and then you grow, and then you grow weirdly, and you're an awkward teenager. Have you ever seen a teenage boy who's before puberty? Their arms are all super long and their legs are long, but their torso is small. That's just how it is, and your body is just always doing this. So to think that it just stopped doing it and is the same for the rest of your life after you hit puberty is such a lie. It's still gonna change, especially when you're bringing a new baby into this world. We don't go look at infants. Infants are usually they're usually kind of chunky. You don't go look at an infant and say, you are overweight, you are fat, you need to go do some sit-ups, you need to go be skinny and get a thigh gap. You don't go say that to a baby. Why? Because that's not how their bodies are right now. That is not how they need to be right now. They'll grow up, they'll become toddlers, they'll become kids, they'll even out. But for this moment in time, they're a baby and they're gonna be chunkier, and that's okay, and we love them like that. And that's how it is for us too. When you have a baby, your body's weird. It's weird. That's how it is, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's adapting to the fact that it just created a new baby, and now that baby's gone. It's gonna take time for you to feel even a little bit normal again. So be patient with that. For me, honestly, I didn't feel back to normal for like 2 years, I think, until recently. I didn't feel like I'm like back to normal. And that's okay. Be patient. Be patient. Our bodies change. I really hate this idea. Okay, a lot of people say this and they mean it, like they don't mean to be mean, but I just hate hearing it so much. And someone told me this not long after I had Jack. They said, you're in your prime right now, like you need to enjoy this time now because it's all downhill from here. The more kids you have, the worse it's gonna be, something along those lines. And I was just like, again, sitting there in my mesh underwear with like giant boobs, flabby stomach, a huge scar. And I was like, this is my prime? Like, this is what it's all about? I need to enjoy this? What is the rest of my life gonna look like? Like, that is so, I hate the idea that your early 20s and your late teens, like that's where it's at. And after that, like it's all downhill. I hate that idea so much, and I refuse to believe it. There are so many people who look and feel a million times better at 50 than they did at 25. Like, there are so many people that are like that. And honestly, I feel that way for me is like my teens were not my prime. I feel like right now is not my prime. I don't think I'm gonna feel the most confident, like my peak confidence isn't gonna happen until like way later in life, I think. And so just that idea, I feel like I needed to talk about that because that really just drives me nuts. Like, I hit my prime when I want to, not when you guys deem that this is like the best it's gonna get. No. The second thing is to learn positive self-talk. And I know this sounds cheesy. I feel like I see this on Instagram a lot, and it's like, talk positive. And I'm always like, okay, no, duh. Like, of course I need to talk positive, but it's way easier said than done. But it is really important, and it really, really does help if you can figure out little ways to do it. One of the things that helped me was trying to stop complaining about myself. You can ask my husband this. I was so bad at it. I would always be like to him at night in bed, I would be like, oh, I feel so fat. I'm just so flabby. Look at my cellulite. Look at my stretch marks. Ugh. And you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be it's not good for the people around you. It's not good for you. But I know it's hard to control your thoughts. It's hard to just only think positive thoughts. In fact, it's impossible to only think positive thoughts. So something that helped me was I made a decision, a conscious decision, to not complain about myself out loud. I could think thoughts, I could think, bad things, but that's all they were gonna be, is thoughts. I wasn't gonna solidify them by telling them to anyone, because it solidified them into words and made them more powerful, and it brought those around me down. It's crazy. Even if you're complaining about yourself to other people, it's bad for them, and it gives them like a negative perspective too. You want to build yourself up. To yourself, to other people, it's just like if you have a bad thought about someone else, you should just keep it to yourself. Let it be a thought, and that's all it is. Especially if you have kids. As Jack is getting older, and as I think about like someday I want to have a daughter, I'm like, that would be so bad if they just saw me complaining about my body all the time. Like, how awful would that be? Like, I don't want to be that kind of mom, so I'm stopping now. I'm not going to do that around them, around anyone. It's just their thoughts, and they're going to come and go, and I'm going to let them go. Another thing that helped me, and I feel like this is kind of in the realm of positive self-talk, was praying. And if you're a religious person like I am, praying was huge for me, and it still is. And to be able to ask God, who I believe is the one who created me, am I good enough Is my body good enough? Am I a good enough mom? Am I a good enough wife? And just seeking that validation from someone higher than yourself is such a therapeutic thing. I can't even explain it almost, but if you've had like spiritual experiences like that, I feel like you know what I mean, because he always does answer those prayers, always. I've found that they never go ignored, and I always feel that validation, that at least even if the world thinks that I'm not good enough, he does, and that gets me through. And hearing myself saying those prayers is huge for me for some reason, and it gives me such a better outlook on the day, because I usually like to do that in the morning. The third thing, and this is huge for me, this was like one of the biggest things, is to embrace your body, not just accept it. So you'll notice the title of this video is called Loving Your Postpartum Body. It isn't called Accepting It. That is something that has helped me see myself in such a more positive light, is learning to be excited about my body and about the ways it's changed, instead of just like, I'll learn to accept it. I feel like people say in terms of body positivity is like, accept yourself the way you are. It's okay. And it's kind of like a drabby mood when you hear that, to me at least. So I love the idea of embrace it. Don't just accept it, embrace it, get excited about it. For instance, I'll explain. One of my things this was one of the biggest insecurities for me. I had an almost 11-pound baby. So that means for a while, an almost 11-pound baby had to fit inside my body right here. My hips and my butt just got bigger because they had to. There was this huge baby boy in there. And my butt was big. And I remember like looking at it in the mirror and looking at my hips and being like, I have a big butt. And I remember being like super sad about that and trying to fit into my jeans from before I got pregnant, because come on, like that is the ultimate goal of every woman, is to fit into their jeans before they got pregnant. I think that's the stupidest thing ever. I think it's so dumb. If you can do it, great, but it doesn't really mean that much necessarily, because I got back to my pre-baby weight recently, but there's no way I'm fitting in those jeans. There is no way. My hips are way wider than those jeans. And even if I like lost more weight, I don't think my bones would ever shrink and go back. Like, it's just, your body changes. Like how I said at the beginning, it changes, and some of those changes aren't just fat. It is like your shape. Instead of being like, oh, I can't fit in my jeans, I'm so sad and I'm so ugly and big. Like, instead of looking at it like that, I looked at it as like, wait, I'm like curvy now. Like, my boobs are bigger, my butt is bigger, my waist isn't huge. Wait, instead of looking at this as like, I have a big fat butt, let's look at it as I have an hourglass shape. And just changing the wording makes such a difference. And it makes me like excited about it. Like, oh my gosh, like dresses, like tight dresses will look way better on me now than before I was pregnant. Things like that. So obviously those are specific to each person, because everyone has their own unique ways that their body changes. But that's an example of my thing. Someone I feel like who is a good example of this, and you guys might disagree with me, I know she's not everyone's favorite, but in this realm I really look up to her, is Kim Kardashian. I feel like she does a great job of appearing to be totally confident with whatever her body looks like, because over the years she's totally changed. She was skinny, and then she had a big butt, and then she had kids, and then she was skinny, and she just changes a lot, in my opinion. I don't know if that's from plastic surgery or from babies or what it's from, but nonetheless she changes and she's confident about it. She's out there in like skin tight clothes and string bikinis, and she's rocking it, and she's making other girls be like, oh, I want to look like her. You know what I mean? When before, the way she looked was flawed. Like, I like that. I like that type of confidence, and I think we can all get a little bit of that. I don't think I'm going to be wearing the same thing she's wearing and I probably don't agree with a lot of the way she does things, but that aspect of her I really like. I do, I have to say it. She's great at embracing, not just accepting. The fourth thing is to personalize your environment. And what I mean by this, putting things into your life, the things you see every day, the people that are around you, making it positive and making it a place where you feel good. Because you're in charge, ultimately, of what you see and what you take in. So I'll give an example for this one too. For me, this was big for social media. And I assume that if you're watching this video, you're familiar with social media and you're probably into it like I am. I had to go through and I had to unfollow. I think a lot of times we follow influencers, celebrities, fitness gurus, and we claim to follow them for inspiration. But we're never actually inspired by them. We're just kind of left feeling not good enough. So getting rid of those accounts, getting rid of toxic people in your life. If you have friends that don't make you feel good, if you have family members that don't make you feel good, getting away from those influences, you have to do that. If you're gonna learn how to love yourself and to love your body, you have to be in a positive place. And that's different for everyone, but it's very important. The fifth thing that you can do is pamper yourself. This is one of my favorite things ever, and I think every woman needs to do this. Every person needs to do this, no matter who you are, but especially if you're a new mom, you need time to take care of yourself, to take care of the body that just, birthed a baby. One of my things that helped me were bubble baths. I would just need like 20 minutes. Cody, can you watch Jack? I'm gonna go take a bubble bath just for a few minutes. Just kind of treat myself the way I deserve to be treated, because I just brought a big baby into this world and I just need some me time. Wearing makeup was huge, just getting myself ready. Even though I didn't feel like this was all that great, this is gonna be good. Like, I'm gonna make sure my makeup looks good and I'm gonna have fun doing it, and I'm gonna learn new ways and new ways to style my hair. Going out on a date, it didn't happen very often because we didn't live near any family, but I made it a priority to try and say, like, let's go on a date. That was kind of me pampering myself. Like, I deserve to be taken out on a date, even though I was the one setting it up. Doing things like that, you know what they are for you. For some people, I've heard, like, reading books and just getting away and getting into a good book is huge, or watching your favorite show, going to the gym, doing whatever it is for you. You deserve that and you need that, and that'll help you appreciate yourself because you're treating yourself the way you deserve to be treated. The sixth thing, and this is probably the most important, is to look at your body and to realize what it has done. You have no idea how crazy cool your body is. Your body just birthed a baby. Go look at that baby. That baby came from you. That baby is so perfect and cute. It could not have possibly come from anywhere bad. You see the truths of that. See the facts. See the different things that you have done that day. I made breakfast for my baby today. My hands cooked the breakfast, put the oatmeal in. I drove him around. I went and worked out and climbed up a bunch of stairs today. I kissed my husband. I was really nice to this person. Or, you can make a list of all these cool things that your body does day to day. And if you realize how cool it is, I think you'll learn to love it too. And to do that on a daily basis, because that is important as well. Anyway, I hope that these things helped you. I know it's such a hard time living in this world as a woman, as a mother. It can be so difficult. So I hope that these things helped out. Let me know in the comments if they help you or if you have any other ones that I may have missed. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in my next video.